Forests are places of mystery, where nature hides secrets that humanity may never fully understand. Trails that vanish, sounds that shouldn't be there, shadows between the trees that seem to move when you're not looking. But what if I told you that some disappearances follow a chilling pattern? 6 people vanish without a trace, and all of them experience something strange exactly 5 days before they disappeared. What happened to them? And more importantly, could it still be happening? Case 1, the lone hiker. Ethan Grayson was an experienced hiker. He knew every shortcut in Florida's Ocala National Forest and always shared his location with friends. But 5 days before he vanished, Ethan confided something unsettling to his brother. He had been having the same recurring dream, where he woke up on the trail at night, unable to move, while something huge breathed nearby. On the night he disappeared, his GPS sent a final location, a remote clearing. When search teams arrived, they found his tent untouched, his campfire cold, and all his belongings left behind. But there were no footprints around the site. It was as if he had simply evaporated. Case 2, the woman on the dirt road. In Georgia, Sarah Mitchell was driving to a cabin deep in the Chattahoochee National Forest when something strange began happening. 5 days before she vanished, she called a friend frightened, saying she kept seeing the same woman standing on the dirt road every night. The woman was always facing away, dressed in a long gray gown. Sarah never had the courage to stop, but on the 5th night, she sent a voice message saying, "She finally turned around and looked at me." That was the last time anyone heard her voice. Her car was found days later, the driver's door open and the headlights still on. There were no footprints in the soft earth around it. No trace of Sarah. Case 3, the call in the fog. In Washington's Olympic National Park, a photographer named Daniel Vasquez set out alone to capture images of the mist-covered forest. He was used to exploring difficult terrain, but 5 days before he disappeared, he told a friend he had started hearing someone calling his name in the middle of the night. The voice came from outside his tent, soft, almost familiar, but when he checked, no one was there. On the last morning he was seen, he sent a short text to his sister. "I think I'm being followed." When rescue teams found his camp, everything was in place, except for one bizarre detail. His phone was on the foldable table, recording a 5-hour-long audio file of silence until the final seconds. A strange clicking sound was followed by a faint whisper, barely audible. The voice seemed to say, "Come home." Case 4, the man in the water's reflection. Jake Holloway, a fisherman from Tennessee, vanished while exploring a remote area of the Cherokee National Forest. Strangely, 5 days before, he had told his wife about a bizarre phenomenon. While camping near an isolated lake, he had seen his own reflection in the water, but it wasn't in sync with his movements. He described it as if his reflection was slightly delayed, moving a second behind him. Intrigued, he reached out to touch the water, and for a brief moment, he felt something pull his hand. On his last night in the forest, he sent a confused voice message to a friend. "I think I saw someone inside the water, but it wasn't me." His boat was later found drifting, the motor still running. No trace of Jake was ever discovered. Case 5, the empty bunk at the shelter. In Vermont, a group of friends decided to go hiking through the Green Mountains, spending the night at a wooden trail shelter. One of them, Nate Carter, began acting strangely 5 days before he disappeared. He kept saying that every time he slept in the shelter, he woke up with the unsettling feeling that someone from their group was missing, as if there had been another person there before, but no one had noticed him disappear. On the final night, one of his friends woke up around 3 a.m. and saw Nate sitting on his bunk, staring at the open door. He asked if Nate was okay, but Nate only murmured, "They finally found me." The next morning, Nate was gone. His sleeping bag remained untouched, his backpack and boots still in place. No footprints, no sign of exit. It was as if he had never been there. Case 6, the child in the tree. In a small town in Maine, 12-year-old Lily Anderson disappeared while camping with her scout troop. 5 days earlier, she had told her mother about a friend she had met in the woods, a girl her age who never spoke, but who always appeared among the tree branches near their camp. Lily had drawn the girl in her journal, but something was unsettling. The child had no face. On the last night, her bunkmates woke up to the sound of someone whispering her name. When they opened their eyes, Lily was gone. Her flashlight was found a few feet away, its beam pointing toward the top of a tree, but there was no sign of her anywhere. 6 people, 6 unexplained disappearances, and one terrifying pattern. Each of these victims experienced something strange exactly 5 days before they vanished without a trace. Coincidence? Or a warning no one understood in time? Whatever the answer is, one thing is certain. Forests hold secrets that may never be revealed. And now I ask you, if it were you, would you be able to ignore a warning like that?